with a thumbs up. What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Parker with Head to Head, and coming up at the top of the hour, we will be talking today about the whole Joe Rogan controversy. Not sure if you guys have heard about that. Joe Rogan has a podcast that is very, very popular that Spotify, the streaming giant, actually paid $100 million for exclusivity to bring him onto their platform. So many of you probably know Joe Rogan brings in a lot of people that bring a lot of disinformation in about COVID-19 vaccines and things like that. And he's faced a lot of backlash from it. A lot of different entertainers have decided to pull down their music catalogs in protest of Spotify continuing to stand behind Joe Rogan, whether it was India Ari, Joni Mitchell, Neil Young. A couple of artists now are deciding that, hey, we want to disassociate ourselves with a platform that would allow somebody with that big of a bullhorn to be able to put out that kind of disinformation that really gets people killed, or potentially could. Then we're also going to flip it up too and talk about another form of cancel culture, and that was the whole debacle with Whoopi Goldberg, her comments about the Holocaust, what it is and what it isn't. And I may stir the pot, y'all, because part of me understood exactly what Whoopi was trying to say. But I think the perspective between non-Jewish people and Jewish people are different. And it can be a little bit sensitive. The Defamation League pushed back against Whoopi Goldberg because she said that the Holocaust was not about race. She didn't understand how it could be about race when it was about white on white. Because back in the day, that's really what Jewish folks were white for the most part. And the Germans were actually, white skinned as well. And her point is that from what she knows about race is not tied to your religion. And the Defamation League tried to explain that the Nazis viewed Jewish people as an inferior race. And can somebody viewing you as a race, but really based on your religion, make you a race? Christianity, it's not a race. Islam, it's not a race. Hinduism is not a race. But if I view Hindus as an inferior race, does that make Hinduism a race, or is it a religion and I'm anti-religion? So how is Judaism a race when no other religion is a race? I understand where the Jewish folks are putting that because of the massive amount of people persecuted. Does that still make Judaism a race, or is it a religion? And if it is a race, then why isn't Christianity a race? Why isn't Islam a race? Now, somebody out there sees that and says, Brian, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Come on the show, educate us. We'll talk about it. But I do guarantee you this. Unlike Whoopi, I'm not getting canceled. So please believe that. But I do want to have that honest conversation because she apologized. And the question really is did she even need to apologize? Because she's coming at it from her point of view. And it's okay not to agree with her without canceling her. And then when she apologized because her intention wasn't to offend, that still wasn't good enough for ABC. They still had to go ahead and suspend her. There was nothing in what she said that had any malice or hate in it. As you see these people that distributed the flyers down in Florida, white power and white supremacy and things like that, where there is a hate, people burning synagogues and attaching synagogues. That wasn't the framing of her language. Because what she also said is while I don't think it was about race, I do believe it was about man's hatred towards other men or their inhumanity. So that does come from a place of hating in their heart. She just simply didn't see how it was race-based. So we'll talk about that and more. Panel's going to come up on the other side of this 5-minute break. We'll see you on the other side.
It's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
It's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma.
And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it. And it's a ticket, talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am indeed he. And we are here for another week, me and the panel. Oh man, it's going to be a show tonight. Man, I'm not one to step away from controversy, but I think I'm going to step all in it on this show. And we'll see how the panel feels about it, see how you guys feel about it. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching this live stream on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. We appreciate it. We also stream on our Roku platform on Empower TV Network, as well as our platform on Amazon Fire TV. So if you're a subscriber to either one of those, please check us out, add us to your channel list, so that not only do you keep up with our Head to Head with Brian Parker show, but during the NFL season, we also have our Head to Head Sports, in addition to where we talk so much junk about the Cowboys. They suck bad. But anyway, lots of good breakdowns about that. And we also have movies, podcasts, and other kinds of content, feature films, short films, and things like that. So check out the channel. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe so that you'll always be in the know whenever we do go live or we post something to our page. Our Facebook page is Parker Media Group, Empower TV Network, and on YouTube, Empower TV Network. So without further ado, let's bring some of the panel in that's here already. Oh, look at this. Look at this family. Oops. I moved CJ. Where's Brad? Oh, is Brad not there? There he is.
Sir, yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Got you.
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
Can y'all see Brad?
No, just a blank screen.
Hold on. You mean I done lost that much weight? You can't see me.
Oh, okay.
That's a joke.
Oh, that's okay.
I ain't lost no weight.
There he goes.
There he is.
Right.
There he is.
Okay.
How we doing?
Good.
What I just want to know. I just want to know, who are you hoping to win the Super Bowl there, Brian?
Bro, you know what? Real sober opinion. Real sober, not biased in any way. I think it's going to be a really, really close game.
I think you're pulling for the Rams.
I think it's going to be a close game. I think we're going to
the
pull it
Rams,
out
bro.
31-13.
Just call it a
close game,
deep
31-13.
Brad, I saw your comment yesterday about the 31-13. Now, I just don't understand how that's pulling it out.
That's close, bro. That's close.
How's that close?
That's close. That's
Because
close.
You
basically
kind of know
I
how
feel
we
like it's gonna
smack
be a
people
tie.
up. You know how we smack people up.
I feel like it's going to be a tight one.
Yeah,
I feel like you're going to pull the W. I feel like you're going to pull the W.
34-13 isn't tight. 34-31.
31-13. Even closer. 31-13. 31.
I say 24. I'm going to say 24.
You think we only going to score 24 points?
No. I'm saying no. I say you got the dub. I'm saying that it'll be 31-24.
Well, wait. Our last Super Bowl, we only scored 3 points. So maybe I should shut up. Maybe I should just shut up.
What?
and stay humble. We only scored 3 points in our last Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
But I do expect for y'all to win though. Straight up.
We're hoping so.
Well, that's the problem. They're the visiting team in their own home arena.
Yeah.
Dang, that is right.
I don't think they have to. I think we get to keep our own locker rooms though. They did.
I think you do. I think I don't think
I heard that.
But yeah, technically, the Bengals are the home team in your arena.
Yeah.
It's just weird. that doesn't start off really well that they're visiting and they're the home team. But but hey,
looking forward to that halftime though.
Congratulations,
is gonna be the devil.
Congratulations to the Bengals. Congratulations to the Rams for getting there.
It's impossible just to get there.
You know what? Honestly, Brad, I really want it to be a close game because I don't want one of them games that by halftime you already know what it is and you only stick around.
Right.
I do. I'm sorry. Right. I do. I want it to be over.
Of course you do. Of course you do. But Brad, think about it this way: the entire playoffs, every game, I mean every freaking game, basically came down to who had the ball last.
So why should the Super Bowl? Why should the Super Bowl be like that? Let's make it. Listen, I can't take it, bro. I have avoided all. I have avoided all pregame talk. I can't do it. I won't watch it with other people. I'm mad superstitious. Man,
I know, because every time I would say, Brad, you guys are going to the Super Bowl. Man, bro, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Stafford gonna throw another pick six. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
My daughter during the championship game, my daughter came and stood in the door, and I was like, no, don't stand there, stand over there.
Oh my God!
In the light in the room, you're throwing off everything. You know, I'm mad superstitious.
Oh, there's a rhyme and a
okay,
reason.
now see, I thought I was bad, but
listen.
I don't hold the candle to you.
Sorry,
I don't. I don't hold the candle to you.
Well, I think next week you'll be able to breathe and you'll be like, okay, we got it. The monkey is off of our back. Aaron Donald is going to get his ring. OBJ. I'm more happier for OBJ because I feel like that he's so misunderstood. Players think he's a great teammate, but everybody else thinks he's a diva. Yeah, and he's a diva. He's a receiver. He's a diva.
I think he's a diva who learned a lesson. He learned a lesson. Yeah. He got his ass shipped out of town. I think he was able to maybe catch himself a little bit.
But I think it will vindicate the fact. And I know I'm not, Lori, gonna get into a full football rant, but at least it will prove to Cleveland that Baker Mayfield is the problem. It wasn't OBJ. So how about that? So he leaves. You still lose. He goes to another team, and they're in the Super Bowl. Smoke that. So anyway, I think it's great. So we got Brad here. We've got Lori Parker. How you doing, Lori?
How you doing?
I'm good now, baby. You're looking good over there with that hair. Anyway, Mr. CJ, Mr. TMTBS, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you for having me.
Good. And last but certainly not least, the man who stirs our coffee, the one that brings in all the viewers worldwide, including all the women all over the world that just act like they're here to see me, but nevertheless, they are peeking around the corner just to see if the one, the only Mr. Franchise, Jermaine Parker, is in the building. How you doing?
You know, I'd be doing a lot better if you could produce one email or message that said that was the case.
I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to get one of them declarations that the mayor does when they give a key to the city and stuff. I'm going to have information and give you a key to empower.
I'm starting to think that you're inflating my value on this show. I'm just starting to think.
Oh no,
He is not. I'm holding not according to the analytics.
Yeah, I'm holding back on doing that because I want you to be able to walk through doors without turning to the side and things like that. So we're using a lot of a Crisco to make your way from one place to another. So I haven't done enough.
Okay.
I really could do more.
Okay, I appreciate it.
It'll never be like those cabinet meetings Donald Trump used to have when everybody would go around the room and they'd just be like, just thank you for letting us breathe the same air that you have. Hopefully one of your hair follicles will fall into my eye. That kind of crazy stuff. I can't do that. But
yeah. Happy that.
All right, so hey, let's get into it. I'm trying to figure out, Lori, which way we should go with this first. But because we intended to talk about this on the last, on our last show, and we didn't get around to it, I guess I'll start with it so I don't run out of time again.
Okay.
So y'all got to help me out with this because this is a little touchy for people. But you know, I believe in honest conversation. So everybody heard about the whole controversy with Whoopi Goldberg.
Right.
She's on The View. First and foremost, y'all, The View is not a news show. I hate to break it to you. They report on the news, but it is more of an opinion show, kind of like shows on Fox News. Now they do talk about a lot of things touching the news and things like that, but it is not a full scope news show. They do talk about talking about news don't make you a news show. You know, right. no more than me talking about all the women that I used to date makes me a pimp anymore. But Lori, I still got it. Anyway, so Whoopi apparently upset folks in the Jewish community because they feel like she downplayed what the Holocaust was. And she basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, but the Holocaust was not about race. And the other panelists kind of looked at her side-eyed like, you going there? And then she kept on going. And she says, well, I don't think it was about race. I think it was about man's inhumanity against man. I don't think it was about race.
That's what she said.
And she caught flack from the Jewish community and the Anti-Defamation League because they said to her that no, Whoopi, it is about race because the Nazis viewed Jewish people as an inferior race. And she actually went back and apologized again. And apparently ABC News, who owns The View, wasn't satisfied with that and suspended her for 2 weeks because of what she said. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out, without somebody saying anti-Semitic line, but why did they suspend her? Number one, if she apologized, and number two, did she really have anything to apologize for?
Ooh, pick me.
Go ahead, go ahead, franchise.
Okay,
you started off.
It's a sensitive subject, so I want to make sure that I make it real sensitive for everybody. So honestly, yes, she did. She did need to apologize. Her comment was wrong. It was about race. It was. That's what genocide is. It's implied in the term and stuff. And so it was about race. She was wrong. She needed to apologize. I think it was okay that they suspended her for 2 weeks. Whoopi's not. We're not worried about her making a mortgage payment. She's not losing anything from it. She actually just got a vacation from her job, right? Because they probably suspended her. They're probably still.
But is the point whether or not it hurts her financially, or and let me back up because you said genocide. So my understanding of genocide is when you're trying to wipe out a race of people, right?
Yes.
Was it not true though that the Nazis and the Jewish people were both the same race?
No.
Okay.
So I guess my point is,
let me tell you. So here's why, and you can bounce off of this. Here's why I said the things I said. She was wrong. She needed to apologize, and it was okay that she got suspended because those things I believe are true. Here's what the rub is that when her co-hosts say ignorant things about slavery and black people and stuff, they don't have to apologize. They don't get suspended.
Correct.
And so maybe that's what the rub is. It's not. And so this is what I call the speeder on the side of the road rule. The cop pulls you over and you say, "Hey, I'm not the only one speeding. You should have got those guys too. I'm only one cop. I got you."
Okay,
it doesn't make your speeding less because other people are speeding, but it does
correct.
feel a little awkward when you see them buzzing by you while you're getting the ticket.
All right. But let me bump in because we got a comment from our very own Mr. Michael Berry. Hey, Mike. Hope everything's good. I know Mike's been missing a little bit because he's doing some showings on the same day as the show, or there's a client that he's working with. So thanks for putting in, Mike. This is the rub that I'm getting against countering what you're saying, Jermaine. And this is what I need more explanation about, because Mike's comment is, last I heard, Judaism is a religion, not a race.
Yeah.
So there are Jewish people who are associated. So there are Jewish people, and then there's a Jewish religion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that's right.
So he's right. Judaism is a religion, but
right.
you are Jewish by birth. It is a race. There are a race of Jews. Jesus was a Jew.
Right.
He was born in that region, born into that race. I think, again, the finer point of this is, why does she have to apologize? Well, because I do believe that her comments were uninformed. The difference is that she should have what would have been an even kind of punishment if she got the same thing that her co-hosts get, which is a talking to and an education, where people reach out and they go, hey, I think your comments were a little off target there, and here's why. And let me explain it to you, because there's some nuance in there, because you're not Jewish, that you don't understand.
Well, and to your point, though, Jermaine, she sat there and did that.
She did.
She sat down with the Anti-Defamation League. They sat there and explained to her that, Whoopi, from our point of view, the Nazis viewed us as an inferior race, and that's why they committed all those heinous acts. So that she listened to that, and after listening to that, she apologized. Now, she did go on Stephen Colbert to try to give that insight as to the way we see race in America is strictly black and white. And her point was, and she brought up an example, and fair or not, she said, if the KKK was coming, it was me standing next to my Jewish brother, I'm going to be the one running, because they're going to be looking more at me than the Jewish brother, because they may not be able to tell he's Jewish.
Correct.
So they're going to come after me, not him necessarily. So she was trying to say, from a black person's perspective, when you start talking about being against the race, that she's grown up. She's 70 years old. She's grown up from the viewpoint that when you talk about looking down on a race, that's white to black or something in that nature, not my religion determines how you view me.
Well, and again, nuance. It's nuance, right? Because there is a religion, and then there is a race of people.
Okay.
And like I said, I know what your question is, but quite honestly, if you think that you're a black person in this country and that whatever punishment is doled out is going to be fair and equitable, like your colleagues and stuff, you're a fool. She's 7 years old. I know she didn't believe that.
No, not at all.
Honestly believe that? I don't think you do. I think you want to point out that there's a difference in the way that it was handled, and I can respect that. But as I always say, white people gonna be white people, and that's what they do. And I guess I'm not shocked by this. I know the history of this country, of this disproportionate way that we're dealt with when we do things. That's why our little kids will have a police officer come in a classroom and arrest a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old or kindergarten stuff, because we're seen as threats. Everything we do is threatening. It's all good. You want to talk about race and racism and stuff like that? America should never, ever have a conversation about race. They should always be quiet about it. Quite honestly.
Yeah, honestly.
Honestly, they should always shut up.
Go ahead, CJ. Jump on it.
No, I'm just, man. Yeah, no, bro, man. I mean, he hitting all kinds of nuggets here for us today. But I mean, so the only thing I'm going to do is just bounce off of what he said. I mean, because I'm pretty sure we're all pretty much sharing the same mindset behind this.
What were your initial thoughts when they announced that she had been suspended?
I was not shocked at all. I was just like, oh, got somebody else. Here come another sacrificial lamb. That's exactly what I was thinking. Because anybody that had half a brain cell, in my opinion, they could tell that Whoopi, I mean, just by the way that she carries herself, you know, on the screen in front of the TV, because that's how we know Whoopi. She don't ever mean anybody harm. And in my opinion, what she said, it was very well out of the box. I would go as far as to say that the way, given the climate and stuff that we're in right now, maybe she was trying to get so deep and trying to go beyond the skin tone thing and be like, okay, it was a war against humanity. I get it, Whoopi, but that wasn't
So is The View a news show or an opinion show?
It is both. It's like you said. They're going to talk about news and news topic, but they are giving their opinion, which is your First Amendment, right? You can say what you think and feel.
Can you?
It's called The View. And that's the funny part about it.
And that's the name of the show? The
funny part about it is that the show is called The View. You got what, a panel of 4 different women up there, and they all have different political stances. You have a diehard Democrat, you have a diehard Republican, you have a independent, and you have a liberal up there. Mm-hmm. They all, what's up?
No,
who's the independent?
You got 4 entertainers. There's 4 entertainers. That's what.
Right. Exactly, and they all are entertainers. Exactly,
they're entertainers, and therefore Whoopi should know better that it's not a news show. It's not investigative reporting. And this subject is too nuanced to talk about on that show. And so she should have left it alone. It wasn't something for her to bring up.
So the show's called The View, but you can't speak on certain things?
It's a dumb take. First of all, it's a dumb take. Now, it's not that they don't make dumb takes on that show. That's what it's built off of, because it's built there for the reaction and stuff. And quite honestly, if you don't think that there was a producer who wasn't consulted about what she was going to say prior to, they just didn't. So they hung her out there, right? They said, we want you to throw this curveball, Whoopi. And she said, yep, my contract says that's cool. I'm going to throw this curveball out there. And then it got knocked out by all these people who said, oh, no. They said, all right, you got to do the apology tour.
No, I thought my understanding of The View is, maybe I'm incorrect, but I'm thinking like it's kind of like Ryan Seacrest and Kelly Ripa. Like they sit separately. Mm-hmm. They don't see each other. They don't know. And then it's just kind of like on the rip. And they just kind of come up with their topics. I don't think that they're given a list of topics that they want to sit there and to talk about, because they're sitting in their room, in their prospective dressing rooms. Now they could have the news, and then that's what they want to sit there and bring up in hot topics. But I don't think it was the producer coming to say.
I'm just going to interject as a non-TV person. How much money do you think is invested in The View? A lot of money, right?
A whole lot of money.
It is not a place where you go out there and give your unedited hot takes. They do have sit downs. They talk about what they're going to talk about. They have their reads and stuff. I mean, am I off on thinking that? Because why would you? Because they're not. Believe me. What's the blonde's name? What's her name?
Baylor?
Senator's daughter, McCain.
Megan
McCain.
If you think that she has unprepared responses and that she's just reacting to things and stuff,
no,
they have their points. They have to have that. It's not like this show.
Yeah,
right?
No.
Like this show's different.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you. I think they have topics that they study up on and they own on.
Yes,
but they're giving their opinions, and I think they're live opinions. They are. And I don't think it's run by a consultant. Can I say this? Can I not say this?
No.
Maybe they have handlers.
I think it just kind of
maybe they have handlers that maybe guide the conversations. But when they're out there on the stage, on set, or whatever, I think they're giving their opinions, their views.
Right. I don't. And that's what threw the panel off, because if you looked at the panel,
not scripted, Right.
That panel had a genuine reaction to her. Like they didn't know whether to support it or like,
right, because she was touching the third rail, and they were like, "You going there?"
If you if you really look at the panel, look at the panel, and as soon as she said it, Joyce Meyer, that's her name, Joyce Meyer.
That is not Joyce Meyer. That's Joy Behar.
No, my bad.
Okay. I was like, I never heard that name, Joyce Meyer. Okay.
I mean, okay.
She's a televangelist.
All right. God dang. All right. Everybody cool now? Anyway, the thing about it is the woman that sits in the middle, the hardcore Democrat.
Sonny Hostin?
No, Sonny is the lawyer.
Right.
She tried to keep like this like stone face on.
Okay.
And
she knew.
Right. She was just like, ooh.
See, some people know that, hey, we should be able, but because of the way things are in this world, that probably isn't a good idea. It's like going to Thanksgiving dinner, knowing that if you start talking about politics at Thanksgiving dinner, you're going to ruin the whole Thanksgiving dinner. Mm-hmm. It's just, I should be able to say it, but because of the way things are and the way people fire off about politics, I might not want to mention that during Thanksgiving dinner because it's going to take a hard turn left. The whole thing to remember with this is that they really weren't, I don't even know if they were prepared to go in that direction, because the whole premise behind the entire conversation began because a bunch of folks in Kentucky, as in other places, are now resorting to banning books that have subjects that white people are not comfortable with and want to remove from schools. And there was a book about the Holocaust. I can't remember the name of it right now. Mouse. That they were trying to, Mouse, that they were trying to get rid of. And that's what prompted that entire conversation. Jermaine, I totally hear what you're saying, but I'm just, even though I don't consider them a news show, I do consider them media. And media does have a certain protection of rights. And I do believe she was given a view without it being malicious. Do you think what she said was malicious?
No. I think so I didn't see the show. And so I'm just reacting to what I know of it and stuff. And so what it sounds like with a little bit more context is that she did have an avenue and she went off script.
Exactly. She went off because they were talking about the book, and then she expanded it into what the Holocaust was and what.
Like I said, she was trying to get a little deep. She
right.
To me, she was trying to get deep with it, and her foot was on a banana. And
but was it? I mean,
because think about her.
She was trying to get. I think she was trying to be a little too fine and threading that needle. It's like a politician saying, "Well, I know of a plantation, and there were no slave revolts on that plantation, so they must have been happy slaves, right?
Right.
It makes sense. No one rebelled, no one ran away. They must have been. It must have been okay. They enjoyed slavery, right? You don't try to go in and make that fine tooth of a incision. You don't stay away from it.
Brad, you're right, because she spoke about it more not as it was her opinion, but as if it was a fact.
A fact, right.
She didn't say from the way that I see it, or precluding it that way. She basically said, no, that ain't, the Holocaust wasn't about race. She didn't say the way that I perceive it. It wasn't about race. What she did later was clean up on aisle 9 to say, from my point of view, I've always viewed it as man's inhumanity against man, not necessarily racial, because being a Black woman, when I think about race, I think about black and white.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that would have made a whole lot more sense.
She would have came in,
but she didn't say that.
If she would have stepped in like that, then nobody wouldn't have had nothing to say.
No, I think they still would have suspended her.
Because of the,
I don't think so. I don't think they would.
No, seriously.
You don't think so?
Approached it,
then I need to be her publicist. No, it's good.
I don't think it's over either. I saw a petition this morning on change.org asking for her removal. So, like, demanding her removal. Like, no, Whoopi was way left. She shouldn't have did that shit. She needs to go. Okay. And it's going to get mad signatures.
And it could. So there was an actress, I think her name was Roseanne Barr. And
you think?
Right.
I think. And I think that they invested a lot of money to bring her TV show back. only to kill her off and remove her because of public outcry and stuff. So to Brad's point,
what did Roseanne say or do? I'm sorry. What did she say or do again? What was it?
She made some comments. Wasn't it about the former First Lady Michelle Obama and the ape stuff? Did she say the ape stuff?
When she was talking about Valerie Jarrett as well.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yes, that's when she was sitting here and making the monkey references, and then she tried to clean it up, but then it didn't because
you can't clean up calling black people monkeys. I mean, I don't know how you try to clean that up.
It's been a while, and I can't remember because that's how important it was.
Yeah,
but this is the same kind of thing, and so I think so I have a personal belief, right? Not the views of Empower Network, but I have a personal belief that white people
Lord, put the disclaimer right down.
Quantify slavery. That they should have no opinion about how good or how bad slavery was. I just have that opinion. It's my personal opinion. And so a lot of people have that opinion, like Jews think non-Jews shouldn't weigh in on those kind of conversations because it didn't pertain to them. It's not taught in their history and stuff. Not really, just like slavery isn't really taught for white people. They get this whitewashed version of it and stuff. And a lot of people get those whitewashed. I'm sure there's American Indians out there who are like, yeah, you don't know the pain of my people because it wasn't your pain. Right. And so I think there are a lot of people out there who feel like if you're not in it, then you shouldn't really have a fine-tuned opinion of it. You can have the thumbs up, thumbs down, or when you agree with it or not, but having a real weigh-in opinion of it, you need to keep that to yourself. And I really do believe she needed to keep that opinion to herself.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So when there was the controversy about the Washington football team's racist name, what was it appropriate for white folks to weigh in on if American Indians found that to be racist or not?
No, it was not appropriate.
No, not at all.
Okay, so So that I'm trying to draw the two together because I see the same thing, but a lot of them did saying, "Well, I don't think it's racist." Why would they say it's racist? A lot of them, I know a lot of them that don't think it is.
There is no subject, no corner, no rock that white people don't think they need to be involved in. And so,
listen, man.
Now that is the view of Empower.
that is.
Anthony has a question that he asked as well.
All right, Anthony.
After you address your point.
Go right ahead, Lori.
I like Anthony's questions.
Yeah, go right ahead. Thanks, Anthony. What you got, Lori?
So Anthony asked the question, so would there be a View without Whoopi?
Yeah.
She's the key person on the View.
Yeah,
before her, wasn't it like
Barbara Walters? It was Barbara Walters.
That's right.
So technically, yes, but will it have the popularity and everything? No.
Yeah,
but it'll go on. It'll go on. They'll replace her. They'll replace her.
I'm just saying. Okay.
And they'll find and think about it. They'll find somebody else out there, CJ, that's got enough buzz. Because think about it, Whoopi got fewer years in front of her than behind her anyway. So there's probably already a contingency plan if the View is going to make it another 15, 20 years. Do you see Whoopi there at 80-something years old sitting there talking about, no, wait, you got to understand, the Holocaust wasn't about race.
Wow.
You ain't going to see that.
Dang.
Look like a black Ruth Bader Ginsburg at that point. Yeah, she ain't gonna be on no View.
You sound like you've done that impression before. You didn't just pull that out of your back.
I too prep for the show.
you clearly.
And that's where you see true talent there from Mr. Brian A.
That's right. That's talent.
Mr. Impromptu.
Thank you very much.
Sound like you need to back off them cigarettes.
But to Ant's point, I understand what Ant's saying. Or because she's such a popular part of the show, right. She's one of the originals on the show. Would her removal detract from that? And I'm sure for some, I mean, I don't watch The View.
Right.
Yeah, I got a job.
Right.
I don't watch the reruns or anything like that. But for the people that watch it, so I mean, it's kind of hard for me. I mean, I would assume, like I said, Regis Philbin had a really, really it was only him. It was Regis and Kelly, right? Or Regis and before Kelly,
Kathy
Lee.
Yeah, and Kathleen Lee and stuff. And like, so he was the glue for that show.
Sure.
Mhm.
But that show is as popular, or maybe even more popular, with Strahan, right?
Hey, Phil Donahue was popular back then, and then some black woman named Oprah Winfrey, nobody heard of, came in and blew it up.
Yeah.
He retired. He couldn't even stay around. He retired. So, I mean, yeah. So, Anthony, I see this one.
But I'm just saying.
So just make it a white show. It seems like black women don't stay on the show.
No, she's been on it for forever.
Right?
No, man. No.
Yeah. I don't know. And see, Anthony, it wouldn't be a black show because Sonny Hostin is some black. You know, she's like the coach down in Jacksonville. She's multiracial.
Is she?
You know,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to see like Tiffany Haddish on that show.
Yeah, I was thinking her.
Hey,
They would choose her. They would choose her.
If they put Tiffany on that show, you mean to tell me that them women ain't tuning in to listen to her ratchets? I mean herself.
Bro, that's the only reason why they're gonna tune into that show.
You said
what does Tiffany gotta say?
Because it's entertainment.
They'll be like this. What do Tiffany say?
They're not sitting there doing that, CJ, because they're going, I really want to know how she feels about climate change. It's entertainment.
Right.
I think Sonny Holston would quit if Tiffany showed up.
But the organization that suspended Whitney, Whoopi, was ABC News, because that's who runs The View.
That's
ABC
right.
News runs the entertainment arm, just like Fox News runs their opinion host.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, that's a little weird. So yeah,
I don't want to see Tiffany Haddish. I'm sorry. I don't watch the show, but I don't want to see her up there. Nah.
They had the other show that was on CBS. I think it was that had Eve and Sharon Osbourne before Les
and Cheryl Underwood.
That's what she'll do.
Yo, stop.
I can see Tiffany on that one, but not The View.
I'm here all day, y'all. I'm here all day.
That's a good impression.
Cheryl Underwood.
Oh no!
Maybe they should get Adele Givens to do The View. She's such a lady.
She's such a lady.
Yeah.
Such a fucking lady.
Or some more. That would be better. Get some more.
I would tune in to see some more.
Yeah.
I would tune in.
Or Nia Long. Hey, I'm good with Nia.
I mean, they all fine.
Look at CJ. He's singing in the chair. Look at him. I done got to him.
Yeah.
You wife in the room. You better stop. Them palpitations.
She will be okay. She will be okay. She'll be all right.
Oh man.
Man, don't.
Well, if you watch it, I will leave my wife. I just going to throw that out.
That's gonna be our next show. Who would you leave your wife for? But we won't do it.
I
got a small list.
I think my book thicker than the Bible. But go ahead.
We will give you several knives, Lori. Several knives. Please.
I was trying to bring it back to where we're talking about,
Lord,
the sanitation of media.
Oh, you mean we had a prep show and I went left?
Yeah.
No, we didn't have a prep show. You just decided to go your own way.
You can
I'm
go
trying to bring
your
back some
own
conversation.
way.
So Lori, when you think I'm holding the Bible, now you're gonna go, is it?
Hey, Lord.
Can you find your Bible? Because I know where mine is.
Yeah, so let's moving on along because I don't.
I'm moving along because it might go up in smoke and fire.
Yeah, it probably already did because I ain't seen it. But
absolutely,
that's not the point.
I was talking about
Lori. I'm working on my own salvation.
Boy, y'all just gonna hit all the stereotypical stuff to say. Okay. All right, y'all.
Ain't there what people that don't want to talk about it say? I'm sorry, I'm working on my own salvation.
It's a personal journey, y'all.
It's a personal journey between me and God.
It's a personal walk. It's a personal walk.
I gotta walk that by myself. Yeah, you do. Anyway,
I was really trying to kind of start to bring up the topic about the sanitation of media, where you can then lead into the Joe Rogan.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I was going there. I didn't forget my North Star, but thank you for being my North Star.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. But so and that's my fear, Jermaine, when I'm talking about they're not a news show, but they are media. And when we start talking about restricting, and let me caveat this. If you have a platform like a Candace Owens,
Oh Jesus,
and you use that to say derogatory things about your own people, for one, and just spout a bunch of lies and stuff because you're basically a grifter.
mm-hmm.
I guess my view towards that kind of pulling back media is different when somebody is just giving, whether it's uninformed or not, their opinion about something that is not meant to, that didn't have any kind of maliciousness attached to it. You've literally heard Trump get on TV and talk crap about Maryland, that they're rat infested, roach infested, and basically you heard the tone of it being rural and all the bullhorns that go with that.
Mm-hmm.
All Whoopi basically did was, as you said, she was uninformed and she shouldn't have said it, but then she turned right back around and said, you know what? I apologize because that wasn't my intent.
Yeah.
How many other times do you hear people like a Candace Owens get on a show, say the most ignorant, coonish stuff in the world, and then never turn back around and say, you know what? I overstepped. I did this. I did that. And nothing ever happens.
Well, Candace
Well,
Owens is not
number
on
one,
ABC
she wasn't-
either. She's not on ABC, right?
Correct.
I
She's
guess,
on,
yeah, exactly.
You know, she's a guest on Fox News, or
But they bring her
she's got
back.
her own little podcast show. But
they bring her back.
Right. Well, you know, they can bring her back because
I mean,
those stations, that network is not going to say no, not here.
But doesn't that network have advertisers that basically say, hey, if you bring that lunatic back on, we're going to pull our ads from you?
How many advertisers did Fox News lose during the Trump presidency?
A whole lot.
A whole lot of them, right?
They did.
So they did.
A lot.
And so money did talk, and people did pull back, at least for a little bit, before they went back and advertised again.
Right.
Because again, the whole thing is that I need to get my product in front of as many people as I need. And
right.
Campaigns don't care if you're racist or not.
Correct.
And so when we talk about those individuals, like Brad's alluding to, they have their own platforms and stuff. There's a whole section out there, like there's a whole OnlyFans out there, the people just showing their feet, which I'm trying to get my wife involved in, but she telling me no. But there's a whole structure out there for coons, right? Because that's what I'm calling it, coons. Right. There's a whole demographic of white people who love to hear racist things spouted by black people. It goes back to the plantation, right? It goes back to false.
Yeah, straw balls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
it does.
They love that. But she's not on a major network that has a media parent wing and stuff like that because she could never. Her opinions are too wild where she could never have that kind of stature and stuff. So I don't think that's apples to apples when you're comparing that kind of stuff. More to your Joe Rogan thing about his comments and him using the N-word and spreading misinformation about vaccines and stuff like that, even though when Trump was president and it first came out, he actually had a show where he talked about the miracles of vaccines and how only crazy people didn't believe in vaccines. And he had epidemiologists on who was like, yeah, you know, more people like you need to speak out for vaccines and stuff like that. Because when his boy was supposed to come up with the cure and stuff, he had to pave the way for his viewership to accept that and stuff. And Operation Lightspeed was going to break it. So when it was Operation Lightspeed, and it was Trump. It was no such thing as they were moving too fast. As soon as it was like, well, he didn't really have no involvement in stuff. Well, how can you make a vaccine so fast? Your boy said you could, and you said he could do it. Like he was actually in a lab coat somewhere, mixing chemicals himself. So I think, you're right. Like even on this show, we have a responsibility, right? We have a responsibility. I think so. Any platform,
I think so.
Responsibility. And
there is a certain level of responsibility.
And that's why sometimes I had to say, hey, these are just my views. And if somebody wants to correct me or they want to educate me and stuff, I'm open to it. And so to your point, Whoopi was open to it. She was open to saying, hey, I'm going to listen. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow from this moment. Even as a 70-year-old black woman. But quite honestly, that's our position in this society anyway. We're positioned to learn. They're not. Because they're right. There is no wrong for them. There, you know, when you get to make the rules, And that's why they always talk about being law abiding. Well, you need to abide by the law. Who made the law? Oh, you made the law. Of course you want me to be law abiding.
Right.
Of course your laws mean something because they were made to imprison me, not you. I'm sorry, but that's a whole nother
Go ahead, Lori. Anthony posted a comment. You can go ahead and read it.
Again, thanks, Anthony, for rocking with your comments with our show. So he just has a random question that is there a black is there a black talk host that can say whatever and doesn't get in trouble?
Technically, the only one that came to my head was Steve Harvey, but even him, he has a certain level of responsibility.
Steve ain't losing none of those checks, man.
No,
Steve ain't going left.
Hey, Brad, we saw Steve at the Apollo, and he made that perfectly clear.
Yeah, he ain't losing those checks.
In between, he was doing Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
In between the sets, he made that perfectly clear. That's what that's exactly what he said. He said, "I ain't losing none of these checks."
Oh, okay. So, well, there we go.
Yeah,
so
there are 12 of them, right?
You said there 12 of them.
Anybody,
which is why Steve tried to tell Monique, "Hey, you can't be coming like that."
Right.
Oh, do you know?
Remember?
You know what? I stand corrected. Thank you, panel. I appreciate that. I forgot all about that
because Steve knew that once you hit that corporate America and all that, they put you on them TV. Even Bernie Mac realized that.
Yeah.
That hey, I could say that at Blumenthal Performing Arts in Charlotte, but I can't be talking about no milk and cookies like that on those shows and stuff that they give me. I gotta kind of pull that in.
Yeah, I gotta say because they still on Chappelle's behind.
Yeah, they still trying to get rid of Chappelle
to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm like, God,
it's a different vehicle, right? So,
right.
In Chappelle's appeal is controversy. So when he's mirrored in controversy, it doesn't hurt bottom lines, and so everything will come back to money, right? And so the reason that Empower Network can do what it does is because it's not really being sponsored by me. He's not, this network isn't getting $100,000 an episode, right? Right.
Not yet, franchise, but you keep doing what you're doing.
Nah, Brad, look at him. We need to negotiate. Look at him. He got real quiet when I said that.
Are we live? Oh, hey everybody, welcome back to the show.
Yeah, real quiet. But no, seriously. So because when you have corporate sponsors, you have somebody to answer to. Right. That's your constituency, right? Those are the people that pay you. And when you don't say the things that they want you to say, you lose them checks. And so as long as that you're doing things, so to answer your question, sure. If you look at podcasts around the country and stuff, or the black hosts out there who say whatever they want to and stuff, yes, they do. And especially if their shows are built on controversy, they can, because that's what got them their money.
So hold on.
And to your point,
get back to his question. Are there any black talk shows? Are there any talk show hosts?
When Wendy Williams was popping before
we don't talk about that, right?
Not Wendy.
We don't have anything to talk about. We don't talk. Roland Martin comes to mind.
Gossip.
Yes.
Roland
on TV1. Roland Martin.
Roland does his own thing.
Roland realized that TV1 and CNN was never going to let Roland be Roland.
Right.
So he had to jump on his own network.
Right.
Tavis Smiley. Tavis Smiley when he was on PBS and when he spoke out and they silenced him.
What did he speak out about? Do you remember what that was about?
I can't really remember, but
they got rid of him, Lori, because they started alleging that he was all this Me Too movement hit Tavis Smiley.
Really?
Saying that Tavis was being a little handsy.
He went away quickly. He
He did. But
and he never reemerged.
No, he never did. He never did.
Again, everybody with a platform has a responsibility, right?
Right.
And so what we're in terms of when you say anything, well, I think responsible people just don't say anything. I think they have a clear thought process. They have some clear views and principles and stuff. And I think they stay within the lane of themselves, right? And so, like, even if you say the aforementioned Travis Smiley and Roland Martin and stuff, Roland's not going to just say anything because he doesn't just believe anything. I think that's the one.
No. Oh, my bad.
No, what you got?
No, I was just looking at the comment.
Oh,
Anthony has another comment. He basically said that Dave Chappelle's bosses was white, but they allowed Dave to be racist, but he made it in a funny way.
I think again, it's about
you got to put that in context. You got to put that in context. When you have the platform of a shock jock comedian, like your Dave Chappelle,
Howard Stern,
like your Howard Stern. Thank you guys. Like your Andrew Dice Clay from back in the day.
Don,
your
what's his name before he passed? Don
right. They right. I mean, even to our legends like Richard Pryor. I mean, that's the first thing he did was talk about race.
What about
Red Fox talked a lot about sex. You know, so I mean, they are allowed to speak from their experiences because that's how white America was educating themselves, but in a funny way like that. And so it's only until here recently, after I call it the swarm of the LGBTQIA, now that everybody wants to be extra sensitive. See, before we was just really all aware that we was being politically correct. Now, and then you went into this like extra hypersensitive mode. Now, you know, you can't say geesh or gosh or any of those things without someone being like, "Oh, I'm offended." So it's not even that Dave was allowed. This is where he came from. That was his thing, and he could make you look in the mirror and laugh at yourself.
And also Dave Chappelle, there is a story about Dave Chappelle that he's actually trying to influence with his pocketbook, where in the town that he lives in, he's specifically in Ohio, that he is downplaying the building of an affordable housing in that particular town because of the certain project. And he basically has said to the town, he's like, well, I'm not going to invest my millions of dollars because in addition to what he was going with the housing, the single family housing, he was also going to build a comedy store. They were going to have some businesses that were being connected with that affordable housing. So he's actually trying to talk more with his pocketbook, his pockets and his wallet, and basically saying like, I don't want this particular plan because you're just trying to kind of just shove a whole bunch of affordable housing. Like down here in Charlotte, there's a whole bunch of high rises all over the place, and they're popping up all over the place to try and fill this need when it's not really going to address the needs that it really should be directed to.
Now, Lori, don't that sound very familiar as far as like whenever you got these successful black men that's trying to do something positive for the community or for even for a network of people or whatever. In other words, they're trying to upbuild. Then all of a sudden, conspiracy follows them. They get in trouble. Do I need to say Bill Cosby? Do I need to say?
I wish you wouldn't.
Prince.
You just wish that you a Jello pudding pop.
I'm not sure if anyone has actually had that chance to watch that W. Kamau Bell documentary talking about. We need to talk about Bill Cosby. I missed it, but it's really, I saw the second part, and it's really something very interesting to talk to really watch.
I don't think
was he trying to redeem Bill, or he was pushing him further down the hole? Okay.
No. Listen,
he was jumping on Bill. He was jumping further on Bill.
Yeah, and I mean, just to basically kind of laying out the timeline about, he was America's dad, and then with him going to prison and everything. So it's just like a really honest conversation about Bill Cosby and how his influence in the Black community, even in media in the world, has the influence. What are you laughing over there?
Nah, I just remember when Bill Cosby was going to court. He was
Well, listen,
I'm just saying, listen,
I'm just over here vomiting over the
things-
last couple of weeks. I'm sorry that the man passed away, but Bob Saget was never America's dad. He never
oh
was.
hell no,
It was always
No.
Bill Cosby. So over the last
Hell
month
no.
or two, they've been talking about Bob Saget. I'm condolences to him and his family, but no, he was never America's dad. Never,
no,
never.
not ever.
No.
Was he white America's dad?
Sorry, ass TV
I
show.
want to jump on something real quick because I hear this a lot is about
Yeah.
how we're hypersensitive. CJ brought it up and stuff as a society. And what I would like to say is that it's not that we become hypersensitive. It's just because it's with technology and social media and stuff, individual voices have become louder.
Right.
American Indians always hated the Redskins. It's not recent. That's not a recent thing. They've always hated it. Black people, Chinese people, whoever, we've all hated certain things, and now we just have a voice. We're like this show. So, 30 years ago, there wasn't an opportunity for us to get together, especially distance, right, and come through and share our opinions about things. Are we being hypersensitive when I talk about race and the history of race in this country and stuff? I'm not being hypersensitive about it. When we talk about what led to the comments about the books being banned in certain places and stuff, are we being hypersensitive about saying that these people are it's because grandma doesn't want those books of her because she's still alive, showing her throwing rocks at little black kids who are just trying to go to school. That's what they're banning. America doesn't want you to see America. America doesn't
So
want
how
you
do you
to be
teach?
naked and undressed and see all the sagging parts and warped and the undesirable parts of itself. That's what they're banning. And so we're not hypersensitive when we say that we don't like these things. We're just banding together and our voices are just getting louder.
Hey,
Right.
Jermaine,
So
Jermaine,
whenever I was saying,
go ahead, CJ.
no, I was just saying. So whenever I was saying hypersensitive, what I was talking about how everybody was or I shouldn't say. Well, yeah, it kind of feels like everybody. There's a certain element of society that everything offends them. I mean, everything. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter how nice you try to say it.
I don't believe
And
that.
that's what I was talking about. What the topics and stuff that we talk about and how we talk about it and how we cover it. Nah, that's not what I was referring to.
No, and I address it because I think that's a misnomer. I don't think there's somebody out there who's allergic to every word that's ever been said and stuff. I think what it is that people get set in their ways and stuff, and they go, "I'm sorry, excuse me, ladies, I didn't mean to call you bitches."
I call you bitch because I don't know your name. Right. I
think there's a history of misogyny. There's a history of racism. There's such a deep history that people are like, and because I hear it, I work around the majority of white people, and they say things, and I sometimes have to cock my head when they're like, "You remember when we could just call each other names?" I was like, "I don't remember that. I'll never remember that."
Right.
It was never cool.
Well, I know over the past week or so, it was with the lawsuit against the NFL. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
you see plenty of white folks saying, "Oh man, you got to be kidding me. He just lost his damn job and now he wants to sue. He sucked as a coach and now he wants to sue." You know what I mean? That's their
narrative.
their take on it.
Yeah, I
He
think we're more
wasn't
married
good
to
enough as a
narrative
coach.
than we are to individuals.
And now he wants to sue.
Mm-hmm.
We're more married to the idea of something like the Make America Great Again is this romanticizing America and what's past was when that's not what it was. And people obviously in the millions are willing to stand on that because they believe in the narrative. They can't believe. And so when I come to them, I go, "Hey, it wasn't really that great for us. My grandfather was a sharecropper and there was a lot of stuff that happened to him and stuff." And they take away, dehumanize your experiences and your past and stuff for narrative. Because because stories are safer than real life. Fiction is better than nonfiction. People always, that's the reason why are we still telling our children that there's a white dude that comes down the chimney. Because
because if it was a black dude, he'd be shot as soon as he hit the bottom.
I mean, it's the same reason we believe that a white dude was born on December 25th, and he's going to save us when we die.
Yeah.
Same reason.
A white dude that hid out of Egypt for years, and nobody knew he was there.
And nobody noticed.
And nobody noticed.
Right.
He hid in Egypt. Woo.
Hey, Jermaine, I saw a post on Facebook that was kind of took me aback. I told Lori about it the other day, and I never thought about it this way, but the post said, the problem with slavery was it was always taught as Black history and not white history.
Yeah, it's white history. I've said that before. They didn't steal slaves from Africa. They stole doctors, they stole scientists, they stole warriors, they stole mothers and brothers and fathers and stuff. Black people were not slaves, they were enslaved.
Right.
It's not ours. And so like Black History Month isn't for Black people, it's for white people. We celebrate our history 365.
Yes.
Right. But we're not just looking at slavery in February. We're talking about the accomplishments and advancements of Black folks that once you took your knee off our neck, this is what we were able to do. And these were the things that we invented, and these are the things that we did.
Or even at times, even when your knee was still on our neck,
we were still doing it.
Still maneuver. Exactly.
So let you and to where we are now, and it pisses me off beyond anything. And I know it's getting late, but yeah, all of our gems and all of our jewels are right out the window.
Yep.
Right, because we don't appreciate our own shit. We don't appreciate our own contributions. We don't know our own history. At least not this. At least not this generation. They're not aware of it.
That's on purpose.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's still not cool. It's still not cool.
No.
It don't look good. It don't look good. So sorry about that little rant.
No.
So anyway, while we got how much time we got, Lori? About 15 minutes?
We're at got another 8 minutes if you're going to an hour and 20.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you, timekeeper. So the whole thing is with the Spotify with Joe Rogan is that folks know Joe Rogan. He's been around for a while. Did UFC announcements. Did that show, that nasty show where they eating bugs and stuff. He's been around for a while, so now he has his podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience, and Spotify, which is really good for streaming a bunch of songs and stuff. Decided doesn't make a lot of money off of artists' songs because they pay so much out to record companies to be able to put it on the platform. And every time it's streamed, that's just more money they got to pay out. So they really started trying to figure out other ways of revenue enhancement, and they looked towards podcast. And one of the biggest ones out there is Joe Rogan's podcast that is seen by 11 million people per episode. So the platform is huge. I'd like to say that that's only about 2 million more than we're currently at.
Give or take.
Give or take, give or take 10 million. Yeah. Oh yeah, never mind. Yeah. We don't never get nobody. But anyway, so they paid $100 million to Joe Rogan for exclusivity of his podcast, because most people make their money on podcasts by not just having it on one platform. They'll have it on Spotify. They'll have it on Twitch. They'll have it on all these different places so that people can access. That's why they'll say wherever you podcast.
Yeah.
You can't say that with Joe Rogan. You can only get it on Spotify. And they paid that $100 million for the exclusivity. And of course, yes, they did pay him because they saw his episodes before. They knew that he was one of those guys that kind of talked off the cuff a little bit, and it was that genuineness that attracts a lot of people to him. Joe is the guy that, hey, this is the guy I could just have a beer with, just sit down and have a conversation. That's the whole guys behind it. It wasn't really meant to be so heavy with information. It was just Joe bringing on routine people and just, for all other words, shooting shit, and that's what they were going to do. It turned into a lot more things, and lately he started getting a lot more pushback because of the folks that he was bringing on, and they were a lot of anti-vax and conspiracy theories and things like that. And what people are saying is that when you have a platform like that gets in front of that many people, are you being reckless and irresponsible by promoting that? There's never any taglines on his shows that said these opinions are solely the opinions of the guests that come on. or any disclaimer that has been proven that vaccines provide more coverage to people in the event that they get sick. They are less likely to be hospitalized and less likely to die of complications from COVID. None of those things were ever put on his show. So people are like, Joe Rogan is being very, very irresponsible with the platform that he has. And a lot of, well, not a lot, but there are now musicians, I think it was Neil Young, India RE, Joni Mitchell have basically said, you know what, Spotify, if you're going to continue to back this clown, then we are out. And they took it, and basically Spotify said, hey, hate to see you go, but you know, this is our cash cow right here. We don't make no money off your music anyway, Joni Mitchell. Half of them wouldn't have known you if Janet Jackson didn't remix you in her song. Sorry. Because I didn't know about it until then, and then I started listening. I was like, okay, she dope. But so Spotify is weighing it and going, well, now Spotify is trying to toe the line and basically saying, well, we respect the views of everybody and we don't think anybody should be silenced. And then there was a mashup video that came out with Joe Rogan saying the N-word several times and basically just unfiltered. And
it was like a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, he kept on. I thought I was watching Django.
Oh wow!
But I mean, but he was just, and he was very casual with it. He was doing a Whoopi. He was very uninformed. He was just saying it like it was nothing, and it was no big deal. And then later he came back out because Spotify probably told him to, and issued an apology, and that was fine. The same kind of apology that sounded like Whoopi said. And the difference is that Joe is still doing this podcast, and you know Whoopi is on paid vacation. So
Wait,
I'm not.
Did Spotify pull what's that dude's name? R. Kelly? Didn't they pull his music?
Oh yes, sir.
Did they?
They pulled it. I think
they did.
I'm not sure.
Oh no!
I know there was a
that
push.
Pandora.
There was a push to get his music taken off. Right.
Yes, they had started a campaign for it. Yes.
I don't know whether it happened or not. I don't follow that closely.
Can you bring it up, Debbie?
Hey, well, let me say this real quick while you search for that. So they didn't give.
Okay, so they didn't pull it. Oh, stop.
I was like, yeah, it's on there.
So they didn't pull it. Okay. Cool.
They didn't give Whoopi $100 million, and they can't take it back. And so they have tied their horse contractually to Joe Rogan. So
yes.
It's different. They can replace Whoopi. She's not the centerpiece of that show. They can suspend Whoopi. Joe Rogan, however, they just put $100 million on this dude. That was their money.
Yeah,
they got to ride with this.
They got to ride him till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, it was supposed
and
to.
Now they've made some concessions around the edges. Any episodes where he did say the N-word, they've already pulled that off of their streaming platform. Anything where he's had some questionable stuff, they're going back and tagging it. And some episodes they've actually pulled, but they're not going to cancel him.
No.
And I don't think that they should. Do you guys think they should? I don't think they should.
I don't.
No. Because from how you guys are describing what's going on with them, it's no different than what Disney did with their movies. Whenever people start going back looking at the quote unquote classics, now they just put out a little disclaimer at the beginning. At first, it was like a call to pull like certain
episodes or certain
shows and stuff, you know, due to the insensitivity or whatever. But now it's just a little disclosure that they put out there. They're like, hey, look, this was back, and this was the viewpoints when back in these days. So have an open mind and stuff like that, and they just let the shows play. So it's pretty much the same thing.
Do I just? I mean,
like you said, they put way too much money in his pockets for them to just dump him like that. So yeah, they'll just.
That's just not how money works. That's not how the commerce in this world works. Where you give a man that much money and just let him walk away without producing anything for you. Had it been a smaller contract, maybe sure they'd have thought about it, maybe a suspension. But they're just cleaning up the best they can. but he still has 11 million viewers. And quite honestly, those people know who he is.
Right.
And so what's their risk? Their risk is that he doesn't grow his viewership as much. That's the risk. But he has his viewers. They heard that stuff. They knew who he was. They knew the content he was putting out, and they were still tuning in.
So now the question is, you know, they had pressure from Joni Mitchell, right? That was 30, 40 years ago. The other guy, that was in India.Arie. You haven't heard her name in 20, 25 years. What if bigger names came up and said, yo, no, I'm drawing the line. Pull my music.
Like Taylor Swift. If Taylor Swift came up right then and said, hey, I'm out.
I think it goes back to your point, Brian, that they don't make money like that off of those people.
Right.
Yeah. And I think so at the end of the day, it's going to be about money. The money they pay them and the money they expect to get from his viewership and the advertising from those many people.
I think to your point though, Brad, it would take
it would
take a movement and a groundswell of people. Like it couldn't just be Taylor Swift. It'd have to be Taylor Swift.
It'd have to be several.
Jay-Z, Snoop Dogg, Drake, Mary J. Blige.
It'd have to be a push. Right.
It would have to be a movement.
It would have to be a push. And I'm not saying that should or shouldn't be. I don't even know who Joe Rogan is, barely. But it's just interesting. You know, with SiriusXM, we listen to it. I love it. It's, you know, and I listen to the old hip hop joints and nigga this and motherfucker this and bitch that, right?
Oh yeah, my favorite
one thing, and they don't bleep anything, right?
Right.
You know what they do bleep? You know that joint where it says, I think it's the Puff Daddy joint, where he says, you should do what we do, stack chips like Hebrews.
Yeah.
They bleep that shit.
Dude, I never thought about that.
They bleep.
You know, it never hit me, bro.
You know why? Because the name of the song is called All About the Benjamins.
It's all about the Benjamins. So what does that mean? So why does that's not why. That's nothing to do with it.
Well, ask Ilhan Omar, because when she said that us supporting Israel is all about the Benjamins, they were trying to censor her for that.
Got you. Right, but they bleep that. Look, you hear all kinds of ratchet on that station.
Right.
That's the one thing that they choose.
You listen to the ones with the XL beside it. I normally listen to the Heat channel 41 where they do bleep it out. So
it goes back to my point at the beginning, which will always be
46, not 41,
is that they don't respect black people the way that they respect other races.
All right.
And so they allow our suffering to be entertainment. They allow our suffering to be their currency, where they make more wealth off our suffering and stuff, whether it be systematically in the penal system, in the laws that they write, and in the justice system, where we are held without trial and stuff, and forced into plea deals and to fines and stuff to build their houses and their bridges and stuff. It's all off the back of our race and stuff. And so, that's why they think the N-word is so funny, and they want us to keep using it. They think they should be able to use it too. So, they believe themselves.
So Jermaine, not to interrupt you, but then how is saying the N-word entertaining and not racist, but any slight against Jewish people is anti-Semitic?
Well, and that's what I'm saying, is that we're not valued at the same rate as other races.
I know it was a rhetorical question.
Yeah, and we're just not valued that way. And so our contributions, like I say, we'll give you a month. We'll make it the shortest month in the year. We started with a week. You should be happy that you got a month and stuff. Our history isn't taught correctly. As Brad was talking about earlier and stuff, when people don't know their history, well, it's intentional, right? Our history's not taught correctly, but they go all out about the Holocaust. And it'd be funny, it didn't happen here. That's not American history. It's world history, and I get that in the context of world history. But these are the same people that think the British Royals have a play. People tune in for that kind of stuff because they still romanticize their past and their heritage. And we come from kings,
even though we ran the hell away from them.
Yeah,
well, not we, but they.
That's beyond because we already know that history taught here isn't accurate. It isn't inclusive of all the facts and stuff because. Like anybody's history, my history is not lily clean, right? Another thing that they told us that you had to be white to be clean, but it's not perfect by any means, and people don't like to rehash that kind of stuff. Well, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. But we're just not valued as a people in this country that way. And it shows consistently. And that's why when we look at the punishments that are doled out for different things and aggressions against other people, well, they chose a whole new name for this football team. They did, and it does look like we're hypersensitive, right? Because now a lot of things are changing, and people are saying that's not cool. But our grandparents were saying it wasn't cool. It's not just us. It's not just
you. Listen to them. Yeah. Well, we wrap it up with that. Final thoughts, Lori?
Please wear your mask and educate yourself, and especially with your history.
She's saying that to you New Yorkers because I'm sure in a couple of weeks she'll be back up there to get her hair done. So
no, I will not.
Wear your damn mask. CJ, final thoughts?
Stay black.
Stay black. We're going to try. It's going to be hard. Brad, final thoughts?
Close game. 31-13.
I knew it. Damn it, I knew it. Jermaine, final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thought is this, and I mean this with all sincerity and stuff. If there's anybody who wants to make my short list for who I'm going to leave my wife for, make sure you contact the Empower Network and send a picture and stuff. They'll get it to me and stuff, and next week I'll draw from that list. Thank you.
Well, to hit on that, in my final thought, yes, but I will review that content intensely before I send it over to him. I just want to make sure that it's good enough for him.
Lori, we want the autopsy to say there were several entrance wounds. Several entrance wounds all throughout his body.
And I know I'm running out of time, but listen, y'all, final thought is this. When you pass away and somebody is writing your autobiography, it has to be fully encompassing to really, truly represent you. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We can't pick and choose what parts of your autobiography to leave in and leave out. If it's not the entire story, it's called incomplete. What's going on in this country right now is people are choosing to rewrite the story of our past because it's uncomfortable. They would rather the book to be incomplete than it to be a full book of everything. You can never go forward if you don't know where you come from. That's the good, the bad, and the ugly. The experiences that have happened in my life have shaped who I am today. And without a lot of those experiences, I may not be in the same situation that I'm in. Sometimes it might not be bad, but you learn from those things and you move on from those things. And if you are a student of life, those things will make you better. But the option is not to sit there and purge and try to whitewash your history. Because if you whitewash your history the way that people are trying to whitewash American history, you won't even be able to recognize yourself anymore. Who you see isn't you anymore because of the way it's been whitewashed. It may make you feel better. You may sleep at night and all those kind of things, but deep down inside and in your conscience and in your soul, it will not be you. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters is your legacy. So think about that. We're not trying to take away history. We're not sitting there trying to make people feel guilty about our history, but they need to be informed and learn from it. With that, I'm going to thank my panel, Lori Parker, CJ Jones, Brad Compton, and always the franchise, Mr. JB. We appreciate y'all for joining. Please like, share, subscribe. Let everybody else know about the show. It's every Thursday at 6 p.m. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have any comments, please send it to us at theparkermedia@gmail.com. Until then, y'all stay safe. Take it easy.
This a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a